Sports Podcast. I'm with Lou at the Adventure Stadium. How's it going?
What's up, dude?
We had a little bit of crazy weather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's crazy as a sports.
I mean, it'll probably, and this is going to be a bad year for hurricanes. So this is just a taste, but there's like trees, branches everywhere.
Yes. So
It looks like there was a championship parade here, but there wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Definitely lights out.
No.
Stuff all over the roads.
But there was championships parades in Denver and Vegas.
Yep.
So I picked the Nuggets, but again,
Definitely
again, as a sign of humility, I'll say I also picked the Bucks. But
Yeah.
you know, no one expected the Heat to go that far, right?
No, nobody
No.
expected that, especially an 8 seed. But then again, like I said, it's just a number.
Yeah.
It's just a number that you get seeding. I mean, once you enter the playoffs, it's a whole new thing. It's a whole new season.
Mm-hmm. And you know, throughout the playoffs, no one could stop Jokic, and they definitely couldn't stop Murray. They're just a dynamic duo. Jokic becomes the lowest ever drafted player at number 41 to win Finals MVP.
That is crazy.
Averaged 30 and 14. You know, had a few triple doubles. He and Jamal Murray had those. I think in game 3, 2 triple doubles. You know, by teammates.
But what it was about was that Jokic would have an off night, and guess who'd pick it up? Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal would have an off night. Guess who'd pick it up? Jokic.
But in the finals, Jokic didn't really have an off night. Like the one game they lost, he had 40 points.
Yeah, he did have 40. Yeah. So but he's just a dominant force. He's just wrecking things right now. I mean, that's great. I mean, great on them. The first championship, first time in the finals, first championship. He should have won MVP for the season this year. I think he got screwed out of that. But I mean, I don't think Joel Embiid should have gotten it. But there would have been a lot of controversy if he would have won 3 straight MVPs.
Right.
And
and I think his numbers were better this year than at least one of those 2 years.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely. He's getting better and better. He is definitely somebody to watch out for going forward.
But Embiid averaged 33 points a game, so it's not like they just handed it to
Playing in
somebody
the
or
East
whatever.
though,
Okay.
the East is soft.
Mm.
You're gonna tell. I mean, I knew the championship would come out of the West. It had to. The West is so much more dominant than the East.
Right.
I mean, what is your 3? You only got 3 big powerhouses in the East ever since LeBron left.
Well, it's going to be an interesting offseason, which, of course, starts with the draft tonight. And, as of now, like, Porzingis is going
To Boston?
Yeah, to Boston.
Marcus Smart's going to the Grizzlies, and then some
Yeah.
other moves going to Washington.
Yeah, and, I mean, the big one is Bradley Beal coming over to Phoenix and Chris Paul getting shipped out, probably going to be traded just because
Chris Paul got traded to Washington.
Well, right, but I'm saying he's probably going to be traded from there or released.
Buyout.
Yeah, buyout. Most likely.
He don't want to play for Washington.
But you add Bradley Beal to now Durant and Booker, and that looks pretty formidable. But
we'll see. They were definitely the most upsetting team in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. I definitely think that, like I said, I think I said this last time. Chris Paul gets bought out, and he goes to LA. Like, I'm not talking Clippers neither. I'm thinking Lakers, just because. I mean, it's either get a ring now or you're never gonna solidify yourself in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So he's got to go ring chasing, and I think the best option for him would either be a powerhouse team on the East, which I don't see anybody picking him up, or going out to the West where you're familiar with, and going with some good folks like LeBron and AD, and having like a trio over there to really get things working.
Denver did prove that you don't need a big 3 also.
No, you definitely don't. You need a good bench. It's all about bench. If your bench can go ahead and really play their role, then you're solid for the playoffs. It's about bench. You can have the best 5 players in the game, but you have to understand, people fatigue. People get tired. That thing takes a toll on them, and they do have to take a break. And if you don't have no role players or good bench players coming off to help score some points or stop the other team from scoring a lot of points, then you're pretty much doomed when your big 5 or your big whatever sits down.
You know where a great place to find role players is?
Where's that?
The draft.
The draft.
The draft is tonight.
Yep.
The first pick was made about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We just didn't know. We just didn't know it was this person.
We didn't know who was gonna get the pick.
Look, interview. I don't know if you've seen any of his interviews. If you've seen any,
I've seen like one or two.
Numerous packages with him just walking around, what he does in his life, what he believes about practice. This is the guy. Everyone's in awe. He's 7'4", so it's like you just hope the guy succeeds and lives up to that. But past that, it's still going to be a very stacked draft.
7'4" and can dribble like a point guard.
Oh my gosh. I mean, better than any point guard the Rockets have, for sure.
You've seen his handling skills?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Just look at some of the videos. Like, he's crossing people over at 7'4".
Yeah.
Last time the Spurs picked, the last 2 first rounds they ever got, they made phenomenal picks, and they're now Hall of Famers.
Right.
And championship, holding several rings. You got David Robinson.
And they have a championship coach.
And they have a championship coach. Yeah, definitely.
Hall of Fame coach who's on his last run. This is going to be... And you think
he's on his last run?
Oh yeah.
I mean, just because he got gray hair?
No, he's had gray hair since he started. No, not because of that. I'm not on my last run.
No,
no, that doesn't mean anything. No, but I just think that you think about how long he's been there and what all he's been through.
Yeah.
And speaking of Big Three, like how long ago that was, but he still is going to draw in veteran talent that wants to play for him. I just think this is going to be he's going to be able to show his, play calling ability with this guy now. Like you can do you
can work around, you can build around him.
Yeah, anything you ever wanted to do in a basketball court with this guy, you can do it.
We thought Jokic was a problem.
Right. Well, he was pick number 41.
Well, let's see.
We'll see.
Let's see what Wemby does.
But the other top 5, I say in no particular order, but this is sort of where they're projected, is Scoot Henderson is a point guard I want the Rockets to get, but they'd have to make a move moving up from 4.
Do you really think that the Charlotte's going to make a move on a point guard when they have Melo?
Do they have really Melo, though?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
The Hornets have
I haven't heard his name in the hobby for 2 years.
He broke his ankle.
That's what I mean.
Broke his ankle. Okay, I get it.
Like if you're going top 5, you need to play 80 games. I'm sorry.
No, definitely. I mean, but when you break your ankle,
right.
From hustling, it's not like he broke his ankle from something stupid. He was hustling for the ball,
right?
And he broke his ankle.
But even though he's listed as a point guard, I mean, like all these guys, they are pretty much interchangeable.
Well, it's always good to have a good backcourt, though. So
right.
I mean, him and LaMelo could be good back there. I can see that.
LaMelo could be shooting guard.
Never know.
No problem.
I mean, they might want to end up going somewhere else instead of a point guard.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then Brandon Miller currently projected to go to Portland, but we'll see what they do. He's also Portland's
also predicted to trade away that pick too.
Okay, well, I've also seen where Brandon Miller is going to Charlotte, but he is a very good small forward. And we're talking about maybe not game changing, but definitely that hybrid player that's been in the league for 15 years or so.
I think you don't pass on Scoot though, so
probably not.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm hoping that if this lines up, that the Rockets scoop up Amen Thompson, who's been in the overtime elite.
Oh yeah,
team.
He's got OT. He's got some cards in our boxes that we have here.
Yeah,
on the OT elite,
which
boxes.
is a complete separate league from G League. But because Scoot Henderson's currently in the G League on Ignite. And then finally, rounding out the top 5, which, again, I don't think this is going to stick like this, but Taylor Hendricks from UCF.
Going to Detroit. I mean, Detroit over the last, 5 years have had phenomenal picks. Mm-hmm. Their core is just getting younger and younger and younger, which I can see that team, if they do pick up, if they stay in this top 5 here and they don't trade out, I can see their team really doing some things here in the next year or two.
Yeah,
with how young they are.
But as far as who's going to be the best out of this, so you take generational talent, Wemby out of the picture, and then it's just a free for all. No one has any idea. I looked at everyone's height. I guess that just stuck out to me. Over half of the players are 6'6" or shorter, and there's no dominant big man. There's a guy from Nigeria who's averaged 3 points a game. And then there's the guy from Duke who's kind of moving up the charts. But
times have changed. Times have changed, though, right? So we're from an era where basketball was post them up, back them in, and get the ball to the rim. Right now, it's more fast paced. It's more about speed. It's more about shooting. You live by the 3, die by the 3 type deal now. So a lot of these players are probably just very, very quick, very, very quick, good shooters. Look at Wemby, 7'4". You would expect that guy to be a post machine, right? This guy can dribble. He can shoot threes. Joe kick, he can bring the ball down the court. He can shoot threes if he wanted to.
But also what I'm saying is Jokic was the tallest player on the court, too. Yeah. So it's like, I think you still need height.
You're looking for the athletic, tall kind of guys. I can't wait to see what Chet Holmgren does. I mean, we still haven't seen him really do much because of his injury that put him out for all of last year. But if you look at him now and look at him last year, he was like a toothpick last year. Now he's put on some meat around those bones. He's got a little bit bigger, and hopefully he can prove to be that type of style as well too. Because when in college, he was the same way. I mean, he could dribble down the court, he can launch it, he can do everything.
I just hope he's healthy. You know, like you want him, like guys like him and Zion, just stay healthy, man.
Zion,
and Zion's rumored to be dealt, and even to the Rockets, I wouldn't do that.
They're saying that he's not even getting along with his teammates.
Well, I mean, he might get dealt, but I don't think the Rockets should give up the 4 pick for him.
They just signed him to a huge deal. I mean, I wonder how that's going to go ahead and affect the cap for them.
Well, I mean, they can trade out of it. I don't
taxes.
know what kind of penalties that takes on. And then I know much to your chagrin, but hockey's over. So I don't have to talk about it anymore. But Vegas did the same thing Denver basically did. Just dominated, finished it in 5.
The beginning.
Panthers got 1. They almost got a second one. It didn't work out. But like the 3 of the wins were just absolute blowouts. The last game, 9-3, in which Mark Stone for the Knights had the first hat trick. It came off an empty netter in the third period when it was already out of hand. But first hat trick in the Stanley Cup Finals since '96. Peter Forsberg with the Avs, which is a name you may remember. But and then Jonathan Marchessault, one of the 6 original Vegas Knights, won the Conn Smythe Trophy for playoff MVP. So they had a parade in Vegas, which I'm sure was fun.
So with them scoring so many points in the finals, I mean, is that a problem on your defense, or is that a problem on your goalie as you know, as you go into the offseason with the Panthers? I mean, what do you think that might have been?
They did that to several teams. They did that to the Stars in the previous round, where they would just score in a flurry like that. And you have that in the NHL, where remember the Avs were doing that last year.
But what's breaking down to allow these?
I mean, I think it's
get in there like that.
It's momentum, and then it's the offensive scheme of Vegas. Like if you know, like when you watch soccer, people always go, "Oh, it was a blowout, 2-0, haha," because they don't expect a lot of goals, right? Yeah. But there are teams out there where if you pound the net, you can score 5, 6, 7 goals.
More shots on goal.
More shots on goal. Talent.
Your percentage goes up.
But yeah, these goalies have a bad night. They get swapped out. The backup has a bad night. It just takes 2 bad nights to get like 7. But
I can see that.
It takes 6 good nights to score 9 goals on the ice at the same time. I did a pun. But anyway.
I mean, all you seen was big numbers throughout this whole thing for the Las Vegas Knights to putting up, and they're just like, I mean, they're just running through teams.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of big long-term contracts, I was I can't remember who it was. I think it was a football player. It might have been Mathau, but he was commenting on Ohtani's stats, and he was like $900 million 20-year contract incoming. But I like, whoa. When Ohtani's a free agent, and I bring this up because they released the second round of All-Star votes.
I don't think he's going to stay.
I don't think he's going to stay there. He's at 1.8 million All-Star votes already. Judge is second with 1.4, I think. None of the Astros are anywhere near the top spot for their respective positions. And granted, you know, you don't vote for pitchers, or fans don't vote for pitchers, but he's rolling. He's rolling. The Angels don't look too terrible. Astros are still struggling. Astros are, I think, right there with the Yankees as far as overall standings.
I mean, you're going to have some struggle times. I mean, with success comes some struggle years afterwards. And, you know, people want more money. People move on.
And Jordan's hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Speaking of young talent that can't stay healthy. But
just can't stay healthy. I don't know what the heck is the problem here.
Yeah. And then in other baseball news, World Series is wrapping up. We talked about
if you haven't watched the World Series, you're missing out on. It's equivalent to like the World Baseball Classic, how hype and how exciting it's been. So if you haven't watched it,
and you know the LSU fans always bring the party, the Mardi Gras party wherever they go. Mm-hmm. They beat the top team Wake Forest yesterday, so they're deciding games tonight, and then Florida's on the other side of the bracket.
It was crazy. LSU's number 5 seed and Wake Forest is number 1. So I mean, you would definitely think Wake Forest, I put them away, but taking consideration that LSU has number 1 and number 2 prospect.
Oh yeah,
for next year.
Yeah,
Dylan Cruz and the right-hand pitcher, I forgot his name. But I mean, I think LSU pulls it out, and we're going to see LSU in Florida. I just watched Florida's game, I think the other day or yesterday.
Well, also, if I'm correct,
really
I
good.
read that those are the only 2 teams to be the number 1 team all year. Like Wake Forest has held on to it for a long time, but before they overtook that from LSU. So LSU and Wake Forest are the only 2 teams to be ranked number 1.
It doesn't surprise me that Wake Forest is number 1.
So just because they slipped a little in their 5, they're not really a 5. They're
Wake
still
Forest, North Carolina, right? Yeah, North Carolina teams are definitely take their high pride on baseball.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy. I lived out there for 10 plus years, and just to see how they do things out there for baseball, it's ridiculous. Like it's nuts. So
Absolutely.
I wouldn't expect nothing less than them being 1 seed.
Well, baseball is underway. Hockey ended. Basketball ended, but it's also about to start. Football is right around the corner. So, sports card wise, what's going on?
I mean, it's been a fairly slow week this week. Some of our newest releases have been like select football, which we just can't seem to hold in house. Football is just always year round, just really, really fun and really hyped to do. We have some Panini Chronicles, our first way. Panini Chronicles 2022 coming out very soon. I don't have an exact date for it. I see we have the Goodwin Champions on there. Last year's Goodwin Champions was so underrated. Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved it. The things you can get out of there.
Oh yeah.
And for how cheap the boxes were. Once people started seeing the cool, neat things that you can get in there, those boxes started just flying off the shelves. So, if you guys, I don't have the release date yet, but if you find the release date, make sure you're here on that day to grab yourself a few packs or even a few boxes. You're gonna get unique things. I think last year's chase was a piece of the shuttle.
Yeah,
that's what last year's chase was, or a piece of the Santa Maria or something. It was a famous ship that you can get pieces of inside the cards.
They have patch cards of insects this year. I will let everyone collect all the spider cards they want. I want nothing to do with it.
I don't mean either. I'm not touching that thing.
Nope.
We still have in here. We have Bowman U in Inception, which has been great, along with the Bowman U Chrome, which everybody's gunning for still for the Wemby first ever card auto.
And Caitlin Clark's in there.
And the Caitlin Clark, yep. And I think we have Bowman University Best basketball on the way as well too. Again,
same deal.
If they're in them Bowman Chromes and Bowman Universities, they're going to be in here as well too, more than likely. I've not seen the checklist yet, but I'm pretty sure it's on there. I mean, this has just been a slow week or so, week and a half, give or take. But we do periodically get restocks of some of your favorites, like Topps Baseball Series 2 and Jumbos and regular hobbies, and we get more select, and we get prisms, and we get types of different basketballs. So make sure you guys stop in the shop and just check us out, check our inventory out. We definitely have a clearance aisle that we clearance a lot of different things on. It's good vibes up here. We just hang out, open up cards, and then chase what we want to chase. So.
And I forgot to mention, so the World Series, the championship round, so it'd be basically best of 3. Whoever wins on the LSU Wake Forest side versus Florida, who's already waiting, that'll start Saturday.
Yep.
So,
and I'll be watching it.
Yeah. And, and it's one of those things where, like you said, loaded with prospects.
Loaded.
Those last 3 teams, especially.
And if you're gunning for some of these prospects, some of these number 1 prospects and number 2 or top 10 are actually in some of the boxes we have here. I mean, I only have like 4 boxes left, but we hit a Dylan Cruz auto out of 15 the other day.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 1 prospect there. So just ask around. If you have any questions, just ask around the shop. We'll guide you to those right products.
And again, there's tons of stuff. Like, you act like it's a slow week, but it's an overwhelming amount of wax and packs to choose from.
Oh yeah,
still.
There is.
And like you said, like Top Series 2 is still one of the top.
Top Series 2 is
sets.
great.
Yeah.
Don't chase the jumbos. Here's my advice: don't chase the jumbos. Go after regular hobbies. Regular hobbies are just much more beneficial for the price and for what you can get out of them. Last series, Series 1, it was definitely the jumbos that were putting out the most. But this year it's been the regular hobbies.
They did a little bit of a course correction on that. They usually always overprint Series 1 as well, so that has to do some with it. You know?
Update comes out in a few months, more towards after All-Star break, like September, October time, once everything's been solidified and finalized. So, can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, as always, thanks, Lou.
Welcome. Thank you.
Lots to look forward to. NBA draft, people will be chasing that. I can't imagine what's going to happen when Prism comes out.
For basketball?
For Wemby, yeah. I mean, like the first see. Actual NBA cards and Spurs.
Hopefully, because I mean, what I've seen over the time is the trend has been, it was always basketball that was like up there, right?
Right.
Now basketball, I think, has taken dropped from 1 to 3 in terms of collection.
Yeah.
The ratings aren't there no more. It's just not as hyped. It's just not. It's all that crazy. I mean, some of the big rookies and big players that we wanted to take off and really take the NBA by storm have just proven to be not doing that.
And what's funny is there hasn't been those big, huge, can't miss prospects in NFL either. But it just seems the NFL football just holds that spot.
Football just holds that spot.
Popularity wise.
And baseball is definitely coming up. Basketball is kind of taking a little bit of a back seat, but that's a great opportunity to go ahead and get the boxes while they're cheap, because once next year's come and everybody's gunning for Wemby and Scoot and all these other folks, it's gonna drive up, and you're gonna miss your opportunity to grab them while they're down. So, if there's any advice for you guys, grab basketball now.
We'll end up with a glossary term. I know we've recycled this one a couple of times, but I'll just go with Bowman first, because you're going to see that on a lot of these Bowman University.
Other words, first edition.
Right.
That's what it means.
And their first time on a Bowman card.
Yeah, first time on a Bowman card. Pretty much a first edition stamp in a way. Those are definitely sought out ones that you want to grab. And
especially with this NIL thing, I mean, you're getting people who are sophomores in college.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
All right, well, that's it for Cars to Yards. We'll see you next time.
Well, gang, that's all for today's episode. So join us next week. Cars to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium, and the adventure begins. Again, we're located off 1488 and Woodland Square Boulevard. See you next time.